everyone, I'm Christine and welcome back to my sewing studio. Today is another edition of #FridaySews. It's also done on a Saturday for me as usual, but this is for the last Friday of September, which is kind of crazy. I mean, today's October 1st. FridaySews is just a group of sewers who have gotten together and talk about what's been going on throughout their week, what's been happening, maybe throw in some sewing stuff here and there. So I really appreciate you joining me today. First of all, I just want to say I hope everyone down in Florida is safe, and that hurricane was unbelievable. Most of my extended family lives in Florida, mainly West Palm Beach area, but I do have some family on the other coast. I have some cousins in Tampa. My sister's best friend Robin is out in Naples, and it was really scary. I know a lot of people who live down there stayed in their houses. I mean, a lot of my family usually stays in their houses because they have been through so many hurricanes, and it's hard for us out here to understand that. I'm in landlocked Colorado, and in my mind, if I was in a hurricane, the minute I heard it was coming and the minute there was a warning, I swear I would be out of there. It just freaks me out. But of course, I'm not there, so I don't know how you all feel. I'm just so thankful that you're safe. My mom and sister and dad and I, who are out here, we've been watching the news. They've been contacting the family down there, trying to make sure everybody's okay. So thankfully, my family is safe. But I do know there are some people that are missing still and haven't been heard from. And my hearts go out to all of you out there. Hopefully, your family members and friends are safe. I completely missed Hurricane Fiona. I don't know what I was doing during that time frame, but my mom and dad both called me. My husband's family is from New Brunswick, Canada, and he's got family. His family is all up there. I know by the time the Fiona got up to that area, Nova Scotia area, it was considered a cyclone, but still, it's really scary. And I was living under a rock apparently at that time because I didn't know any of that was happening. I had heard about Fiona when it started out, but by the time it got up there, I hadn't been paying attention. Thankfully, his family is all safe, although I know his cousin Monique is on Prince Edward Island, and I just saw her post this morning that she still has no power. So I hope you guys are safe. I know his family, he's got family in Caracat, Moncton looks like it was hit, and he's got some cousins out there. So I haven't heard anything else, so I'm assuming everybody is safe. But I don't know how I just completely missed that hurricane. So yeah, it's been a pretty crazy week to say the least. Both sides of my family have been hit by hurricanes or cyclones, which is pretty crazy. I mean, we obviously don't have to worry about that out here in Colorado. We've got blizzards and tornadoes, but the tornadoes are scary, but at least you've got your basement you can go to. But yeah, blizzards usually know it's coming and you prepare for them. And usually when that happens, the blizzard ends up being a couple inches of snow, and that's it. Our blizzards, the big blizzards, usually happen when nobody expects it. We will get warnings, hey, we'll get some snow here. And so people aren't running to the stores, stocking up, and then all of a sudden it's a huge blizzard. So that's usually what happens with us. So I have a funny story that happened this week with my 13-year-old son, Max. He tells it like it is. And I was wearing this dress. I made this Berta dress. You can see that on this longer side here. Berta 6418, which you can see up here. I wore this one of the days this week. I think I did, or maybe it was last week. I can't even remember anymore. No, it was this week. It was a really pretty coral material, and it was my first time wearing it. I don't normally wear long dresses like that, and I was a little nervous because it's not normally my style, but I wore it. And I go and I pick him up from school, after I've worn it all day. And he gets in the car and he says, Mom, you know, that's weird. That's a weird dress. Or he goes, that's weird fabric. And it was just cotton. It was just a coral, 100% cotton. And I was like, well, I said, it's just cotton. He goes, yeah, but it's like see-through. Or no. He says, it's so thin. And I was like, oh my God, can you see through it? You know? And he's like, no, it's weird. And meanwhile, he had on a t-shirt. And he says, you know, the hem of my t-shirt, the way it's serged basically is what he meant. He said, you know, it doesn't look the same as yours. It just looks different. And I said, well, does it look weird? And he just looks at me and he goes, I don't know, Mom, you do you. Great. Thank you, honey. What does that mean? So then the next day I pick him up in a normal outfit. And he's like, Mom, I like that outfit much better. Like, look great. So we'll see if I wear that dress again. So I haven't done any sewing this week. It's actually been really relaxing. On Wednesday, I did post this video, or this side, I don't even remember which side it's on, about what you can do if your sewing machine keeps beeping at you over and over again. It's a real quick 3.5 minute video, I think. Hopefully it helps some people. Again, if you've been if you've been sewing for a long time, I'm sure you already know these little tricks I figured out. But it's for people who may have just started sewing and your sewing machine manual does not mention doing this. So hopefully that'll help. But that was it. And it's actually been pretty relaxing not having to sew every night. But I am ready to go back doing something else. And this weekend is supposed to be raining and chilly, which is always fun sewing weather. But as of right now, it is chilly, but it's not raining yet. But I was planning on doing this shirt at one point, and it looks almost like a chef's jacket, but it's got 5 buttons down the side. And honestly, the thought of doing buttons right now, buttons sometimes tend to stress me out. You know, if your machine again gets stuck while doing the buttonhole, it's hard to fix that because it's got this whole system that it does. And if it gets stuck at one point, where do you restart it? It's very difficult. So I'm going to put that off. And I think I'm going to do this skirt this weekend. This is the Simplicity S9375. I like this one right here. Looks like it's got a little tie to it. And I'm going to use this flannel fabric, checkered. This was what I was going to use on the shirt, another checkered fabric. But again, I think I'm going to stick to something hopefully a little easier and quicker. So hopefully I can just get it done this weekend. Having to do them throughout the week at night, it's just kind of exhausting. So you'll hopefully end up seeing that. I did end up posting this dress this past weekend. It is a women's jumper, and it is Simplicity 8641. I did a black and white check, buffalo check. It turned out really cute. I haven't worn it yet because it has been pretty warm, but who knows, maybe this week I'll be able to wear it. It's supposed to get down to 70. That'll be nice. So yeah, I will be doing this skirt. So this week on Friday Sews, the topic is how do you store your scraps? Now when I moved my office down here, I tossed a lot of scraps, and these were scraps like you're never going to use them. I mean, seriously, Christine, what am I going to do with a 2-inch by 6-inch piece of fabric? You know, so I did toss a lot of my scraps, but the bigger ones I have, I've figured out, I'm sure I found it somewhere because this was not my idea. I have these are comic book boards, they're called. I actually found them on Amazon. I am going to put a link down in the descriptions. They are called comic book boards, and people use them to store comic books. I got 100 of them for like $18. And what I do is I wrap the fabric around the board. I fold it into this size, this width, and then I wrap it long ways, and I have a little pin that I stuck in there, just right in there. So I'm able to hold the fabric like this. I have some red right here. So that's actually been working out really well. Some of the larger scraps, which I guess aren't technically called scraps, I roll up and I stick down there, but for the most part, I've got these. And I will be having to extend my collection into another square on my IKEA shelving system here, because I am running low on space. I shove them in as tight as I can, but it's not going to fit soon. So that'll be fun. So this is my fabric stash. Some of these are larger than others. Like you can see, there's quite a bit of fabric here. But for the most part, this is how I store my scraps. You see, I've got my polka dot material from last week, which I still have to wrap and try and shove in here because it is getting pretty tight now. But that is basically how I store all my scraps. And this makes me want to start using them again. That's basically it for today. Thanks again for joining me. Please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate any comments you have. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time.